me as I conquer these lands and get as many Robux as possible in 24 hours. So there's 2 main donation games in Roblox, and I'll be spending about 12 hours at each of them. First, I'll be playing Starving Artists. This is a game where you can draw whatever you want, and you can sell for whatever you want. Around 10 a.m., I hopped on my computer and I was ready to start. First thing I did was look at other people's art. I had to see what I was up against. And I was actually pretty impressed. My bad. If I was going to make any sales, I had to make something really, really cool. My first idea? A hot air balloon, which is kind of cool. I started drawing, and you could actually see the visible confusion I was going through. I had no idea what I was doing. What? After about 10 minutes of painting, I was finally done with my first piece. Yeah, not so bad, right? I put it up for sale for 10 Robux, and I'll have to customize my avatar. Maybe a more attractive character to get me more sales. And there it is. The most beautiful avatar you've ever seen in your entire life. On the way back, I noticed the St. Neximo was actually getting really popular. It was my time to try to get some first customers.
You'll make it, Ted. I can't. That was only 2.
Oh yeah, it didn't go well at all, actually. I gave up and I started drawing something else. This drawing was okay, but my next one... absolute masterpiece. That's probably in like the top 10 apple trees ever. I realized it cost a Robux to sell more than 3 things at a time, so it was just a waiting game now. I looked around a little bit, and then I switched servers to hopefully find someone that could buy my art. Didn't really have much luck. Found some cool art, but then I saw this guy. Went spectacular, especially his big round head though. So I stole his look entirely. I had to. I was feeling so confident in myself. I climbed up a tree. I switched servers again, and then I remembered a piece of art that really inspired me earlier. So I was off to drawing again.
In Tower Defense Simulator, there are 2 major things that most players grind for. The first is Golden Towers. These come from a special crate with a price of 50,000 coins. These crates give towers buffs to their stats and make them more viable in early game, mid game, and late game. And there's also Golden Cowboy. The second is Hardcore Towers. As in the name, you get them from Hardcore mode. Arguably the best late game tower in TDS is Accelerator, with a price of 2,500 gems. Today I'm going to be challenging myself to make 2 brand new accounts, and see if I can get Accelerator or 2 golden crates faster. This took literally forever to make, so I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. Anyways, let's get into it. To start, we have to set some ground rules. First of all, I can't spend Robux to boost my progress in the game. As well, I won't be allowing myself any teammates for this, which isn't a problem because I don't have friends. My first account I named Accelerator 975, and I'm going to be using this account to grind for Accelerator.
From 208, a cooldown of 1.2 seconds, a range of 13, and a DPS of 3.29. It also gets flying detection, which means it can be used in hardcore mode against everyone else. The level 1 golden soldier costs a total of 600 cash, which means you can afford one in the first wave. It has a fire rate of 0.158, a range of 16, and a DPS of 3.58. By itself, the level 1 golden soldier can survive to round 7 on falling mode, which is the same as 3 golden strikes. The level 2 golden soldier costs a total of 1,350 cash. It deals 3 damage, fires a burst of 5, has 17 range, and a DPS of 7.54. It also gains hit and protection. Based off my testing, I found that 3 level 2 golden soldiers can comfortably handle the wave 13 hitting, and you'll need 4 of them for wave 13, with 7.54. It also gains hit and protection. Based off my testing, I found that 3 level 2 golden soldiers can comfortably handle the wave 13 hitting, and you'll need 4 of them for wave 13. The level 3 golden soldier costs a total of 3,850 cash. It deals 5 damage, fires a burst of 8, has a fire rate of 0.108, and a DPS of 19.38. The level 4 golden soldier costs a total of 11,450 cash. It deals 10 damage, fires a burst of 12, has a fire rate of 0.084, a range of 19, and a DPS of 54.35. For the golden soldier, the level with the best value is once again the level 0. It has a DPS to cost ratio of 6.93 DPS per 1k spent. Essentially,
nice.
the higher level you go, the worse its value gets. 3 DPS per 1k spent. Essentially, the higher level you go, the worse its value gets, with the level 5 golden soldier having a DPS cost ratio of 4.75 DPS per 1k spent. So, unless you're maxing out in the late game, your best option is to spam level 0 golden soldiers. Now that we've gone over both towers, which tower is better? Well, the Golden Scout has the best value, with the level 0 Golden Scout having a DPS to cost ratio of 8.3 per 1k spent, but the Golden Soldier's best DPS to cost ratio is only 6.93 per 1k spent. It means in theory, the Golden Scout should perform better in early game and allow for more farming. However, as I mentioned earlier, they both made it to the same exact round with the same exact amount of cash spent on them. So the Golden Scout isn't really better in the early game. Also, both towers gain hit and protection in level 2. And while both towers lose some value with this upgrade, the Golden Soldier ends up with 5.59 DPS per 1k spent, while the Golden Scout only gets 4.81 DPS per 1k spent, which means the Golden Soldier is a lot better for waves 13 and 15. These rounds are huge bottlenecks that often force you to spend a lot of extra cash on defense instead of farming. Having a tower with more cost efficient in these rounds can go a long way. Another thing we need to consider when comparing these towers is the max DPS. The max DPS of the Golden Soldier is 54.34, while the max DPS of the Golden Scout is only 36.76. Both of these towers have no placement, which means on a quad game, it's up to 20 of these guys. 20 Golden Soldiers adds up to a total DPS of 1,086.8, and 20 Golden Scouts adds up to 735.2 DPS. You usually won't be placing 20 Golden Soldiers or Scouts. Most of the time, you'll have another heavy DPS tower like the Accelerator. The max amount of accelerators you can place is 8, which leaves us with 12 spaces left for other towers. 12 Golden Soldiers will give a total DPS of 652.08, and 12 Golden Scouts will give a total DPS of 441.12. That means if you use a Golden Scout, you're missing out on 210.96 DPS, which is more than a max accelerator. That could be the difference between winning and losing. So, which tower would I say is better? While they're both incredibly good towers, the Golden Soldier just kind of outclasses the Golden Scout. They both perform just as well in the early game. The Golden Scout has much better late game potential, and it's better in my opinions. Because of that, I'm going to say the Golden Soldier is the better tower. But what do you think? Is the Golden Soldier better than the Golden Scout?
I've seen some really interesting products on the internet that almost look too incredible to be real. So I've ordered some of these viral products so we can take a look. I want to find out, do the products actually work and how are they made? First on our list is this amazing looking tumbler. I placed an order and this box arrived. It came in this really smart packaging. It is expensive at nearly £50, but let's take a look. It comes in this nice little pouch and, what's this? A certificate of authenticity. It's all very nicely put together, so let's take a look at the product. Well, here it is. It's got this matte black finish to it. It does look smart. Down the side here, there's this strip. There's quite a chunky look to the top, and this rubber non-slip base piece. So let's see what happens when I open it. Wow, that is piece. So let's see what happens when I open it. Wow, rubber non-slip base piece. So let's see what happens when I open it. Wow, that is amazing. Check it out, that's just so cool. And wow, it feels really cool. It's like the outside layer has been tightly pulled around a 3D geometric body. When you're holding it like this, you can kind of push and dent in the outer and feel the kind of diamond-shaped structure underneath. Then when you open it, it stretches tight and just transforms it. It's like you're crushing the canister and it's crumbled absolutely perfectly. What a cool idea. And it makes a really satisfying sound.
If you want to buy one of these, there's affiliate links in the description. But let's take a closer look. The instructions show nice illustrations of how to dismantle it. I unscrewed the top. There's some more paperwork and a silica pouch. And here it is. It's obviously got a seal there. This little handle lifts up. And here's the lid. You can see there's a little air hole to help it pour. And rubber seals. It folds over and closes nicely with a good action. But look what I noticed. It's actually on a cam. And when we open and close it back and forward, it lowers and raises this collar. So that's the action for how this thing works. So if I try pushing down on this part with my hands, check that out. That's so cool. But we can actually disassemble this thing further. The instructions say we can remove the upper rim seal here, slide out this base sheet. Oh, look at that. It's the framework to which the pattern forms when we open the lid. And it's made of this really interesting piece. It's the frame. Remove the upper rim seal here, slide out this base sheet. Oh, look at that. It's the framework to the upper rim seal here, slide out this base sheet. Oh, look at that. It's the framework to which the pattern forms when we open the lid. And it's made of this really interesting piece. Next, apparently we can remove the lower rim seal. Yeah, there we are. Then slide off the outer shell. I think this part is super delicate, so I'm being very careful. It's this thin plastic film, and it's got a kind of slight rubber feel to the outside. And obviously you can bend and fold slightly without leaving creases, then return to its original form. And here's the tumbler base. Nothing else comes apart though. But if we slide this piece back over, you can see what the full structure's like underneath the film. That really is a clever design. One thing I did notice though when I put it all back together, if you haven't screwed the lid down properly, when you activate it, the outer layer leaves these sort of bubbles because the lid hasn't pushed it down quite far enough yet. So if you see that, it's a good indicator to make sure the lid is screwed firmly all the way down. There we go, that's better. And the last thing left to test is, does it keep water hot? It's got a 16-ounce capacity, which is 475 millilitres. It's BPA free and it's double wall vacuum insulated. I'm just testing it with boiling water. And once it's full, I used my thermometer to take a temperature reading. It came in at 95 degrees centigrade, which is 203 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm closing it up.